Strong starting hands pre-flop. Strong starting hands aren't pretty cards. They're hands that win money because they make high equity pairs, draws, and top pair combos that can value bet across multiple streets without needing miracles. In high rake games, this matters even more. Rake punishes thin edges and speculative calls. So when we talk about strong, we're really talking about hands that can enter pots aggressively, realize equity cleanly, and avoid reverse implied odds when stacks are 100 big blinds and deeper. What strong actually means. Isolate the variables. A hand is strong pre-flop when it has 1. Raw equity, 2. Realization. It can actually get to showdown or win the pot. And 3. Robustness versus 3 bets and multi-way pots. A hand can have good raw equity and still be a problem. King-Jack offsuit has decent equity versus random hands, but it gets dominated and struggles under pressure. Strength isn't just the equity number, it's how your hand performs when ranges tighten and the pot gets big. The hierarchy of strong starting hands. Context dictates strategy, but the hierarchy below holds up across most cash environments. Think of these as your core assets that can pressure opponents and pay you when they misplay. First, premium pairs, pocket aces through pocket queens, often pocket jacks too. These hands print because they start with made value and don't need help to be ahead. Second, big Broadway pairs plus high, suited, pocket jacks through pocket tens, ace-king suited, ace-queen suited. These make strong top pairs and nut draws that can barrel. Third, dominating suited aces, ace-jack suited through ace-10 suited, and sometimes ace-5 suited through ace-2 suited in specific lineups. These perform well because they can make nut flushes and apply pressure in position. Fourth, strong Broadways, ace-king offsuit, ace-queen offsuit, king-queen suited. These are strong but more sensitive to position and who's left to act. Notice what's missing, marginal offsuit Broadways, like king-jack offsuit and queen-10 offsuit, and small pairs played passively. They're not always bad, but they are not your default moneymakers in high rake pools. Why suited plus connected equals strength, when it's the right kind. Suitedness isn't a cosmetic upgrade. It increases your ability to make nutty hands and gives you more profitable semi-bluffs. Ace-king suited isn't just ace-king with a suit. It's a hand that can stack dominated ace-x, make the nut flush, and comfortably pressure one-pair ranges. Connectivity matters for board coverage and barreling. But don't confuse connected with strong. 8-7 suited can be playable, yet it's not a strong starting hand in a high rake environment unless you're leveraging position, fold equity, and deep stacks. Strong hands don't rely on implied odds alone. They can win unimproved or with one clean pair. Position. Strength changes when people are left to act. Your hand's absolute value is only half the story. Your hand's positional expected value is the other half. Ace-king offsuit on the button is a different weapon than ace-king offsuit. Under the gun in a tough lineup. First, early position. You want hands that remain strong when you get 3-bet and when you go multi-way. Think pocket queens, and better, ace-king, ace-queen suited, pocket jacks. Second, middle position. You can add hands like pocket tens, ace-jack suited, king-queen suited more comfortably, but discipline still wins. Third, late position. Your strong hands stay strong and you gain steal equity. You also get to open more hands overall. But don't label that as strong. It's just wider. Fourth, blinds. Strength is amplified by pain. Playing out of position reduces realization, so your continuing range must be tighter and more 3-bet heavy with your best hands. Translation, the same holding can shift from automatic continue to fold depending on who is behind you and how likely a squeeze is. Strong hands and pre-flop aggression. Strong hands want to do 2 things. 1, build pots when you're ahead, and 2, deny equity to hands that have live cards or implied odds. That's why you'll rarely see top players just call with the top of range in many nodes. especially in high rake, where limping and passive flats leak money. If your hand is truly strong, you usually prefer raising, 3-betting, or even 4-betting to take control of the pot geometry. There are exceptions, trapping a maniac who overbluffs or keeping dominated hands in against a calling station. But those are opponent-driven deviations, not default habits. Common traps, hands that look strong but bleed expected value. You're going to lose the most money with almost strong hands when you overplay them. These are the usual suspects. First, King-Jack offsuit and Queen-Jack offsuit, dominated by tighter continuing ranges. You make top pair and pay off better kickers. Second, small pairs used for set mining. Anti-hope. Poker rule, calling purely to spike a set is often negative. Expected value in high rake unless stacks are deep and the spot is clean. Third, weak-suited aces, ace-9 suited through ace-6 suited can be playable, but multiway dominated flushes are real. Strength comes from making the nuts, not a flush. If you want a quick filter, strong hands, either A, flop well with top pair, top kicker frequently, or B, make nut hands and have fold equity when they miss. Hand scenario. The squeeze-proof pocket nines. Game, 6 max cash, 100 big blinds, high rake. Villain types. Under the gun is a nit, button is a competent regular, big blind is a calling station. Hero, hijack, pocket nines, 9 of spades, 9 of hearts. Pre-flop, under the gun opens 2.5 big blinds, hero calls in the hijack, button calls, big blind calls, 4-way. Flop, king of diamonds, 7 of clubs, 4 of spades. Action, under the gun. C bets 1/3 pot. Hero faces a decision with an under pair in a multi-way pot. Here's the coaching point. Pocket nines looked strong enough to peel pre-flop, but the multi-way setup crushes your realization. You don't have position on everyone. You're not the aggressor. And under the gun's in-it range smashes this board like king X and pocket aces through pocket queens. Add in a calling station in the big blind who doesn't fold king X or 7X, and your future fold equity is thin. In a high rake environment, this is where disciplined players separate themselves. Folding flop is often best. The leak isn't calling pre-flop, it's continuing post-flop because it's only one bet and hoping for a 9. Strong hands don't need hope. They create expected value through leverage and clarity. So what should you do with strong hands? Use strong hands to simplify your decision tree and force opponents into mistakes. Against nits, steal relentlessly and don't pay them off when they show strength. Against maniacs, widen your value range and let them hang themselves. Against calling stations, value bet bigger and bluff less. The practical pre-flop goal: build a range where your opens are defensible, your 3 bets are coherent, and your flats don't invite squeezes that force you into rake-heavy, low-realization lines. Key takeaway: strong starting hands are strong because they combine equity, realization, and robustness when the pot grows. In high-rake games, you profit by playing your best hands more aggressively, avoiding passive hope poker, and respecting position, especially who is left to act and how likely you are to get squeezed into low expected value spots. Now, let's test your edge. Question 1. What are the 3 variables the article says define a strong pre-flop hand? Answer: raw equity, realization, and robustness versus 3 bets and multi-way pots. Explanation: the article defines strength as more than an equity number. It must realize equity and hold up when ranges tighten and the pot grows. Question 2. Why does the article say rake makes speculative or thin edge decisions worse? Answer: rake punishes thin edges and speculative calls. Explanation: in high rake pools, marginal plus expected value spots shrink, so you want hands that can enter aggressively and realize equity cleanly. Question 3. According to the article, what is the default pre-flop approach with truly strong hands in many nodes, especially high rake? Answer: prefer raising, 3-betting, or 4-betting rather than just calling. Explanation: strong hands want to build pots when ahead and deny equity, and passive flats can leak money in high rake environments. Question 4. In the squeeze-proof pocket nines scenario, what does the article say is often the best decision versus the 1/3 pot C bet on king 7-4, rainbow in a four-way pot? Answer, folding the flop is often best. Explanation. The article emphasizes poor realization multiway, under the gun's nit range smashing the board, and thin future fold equity, especially with a calling station involved. Question 5. What quick filter does the article give for identifying strong hands? Answer, they either make top pair, top kicker frequently, or they make nut hands and have fold equity when they miss. Explanation, the filter focuses on clarity and leverage. Strong hands don't rely on implied odds alone or hope poker. Study hard, play smart. That's it for now. I'll see you in the next lesson.